Hi everyone, Delyn here. Thanks for tuning in to video number 2. We're just going to go ahead and dive right into this sequence that you're looking at for coordinate graphing. This happens to be a summertime image that you will begin to see as you complete plotting all of the coordinate pairs. And just to review, X and Y together make a coordinate pair. And so I'd like for you to make a note over here on the side, X comma Y in parentheses. That will always make a pair, and you need an X value and a Y value to create what we call a data point. The first thing that you're going to notice as I switch over to the graph here, there are 4 quadrants available. So there's quadrant 1. I'm going to go ahead and label this quadrant 1 right up here above. I like to label all of these. And as we are talking through each of these coordinate points, you'll start to see why I like to label them. 1 in this case is written as a Roman numeral 1. Now, quadrant 2 actually moves to the left side. Many of us want to go down and then over. It actually goes towards the left side when we label quadrant 2. And Roman numeral 2. Take a moment to get those written out. Now I'm going to go to the very bottom, just slide straight down to the bottom underneath quadrant 2, and that is going to be quadrant 3. And Roman numeral 3. Slide the page over for the very last quadrant. We're going to label this quadrant 4. Now, Roman numeral 4 is written with what looks like an I and the letter V, just like that. It's Roman numeral 4. Now, let's go back up to quadrant 1, and let's study each of these quadrants separately. So this here is quadrant 1. This is your X value, your X axis. So I'm going to put an X on the right-hand side. Now that goes left to right. Now up and down the page here, that's your Y axis. So just right above this 19 here, I'm going to put the letter Y just as a reminder for myself. Now taking a look at the pattern of XY, notice that the X values right here, they're all positive values. That means Y is also all positive values. So when we're looking at our list of coordinate points or coordinate pairs, anytime that you see an X listed as positive and a Y listed as positive, you know instantly that belongs in quadrant 1. So to label quadrant 1, I am going to just put a plus, comma, plus in parentheses. So take a moment to do that. Pause the video at any time as needed. Let's move to quadrant 2. Again, the same pattern, X comes first. Notice here on my X axis, I have some negative values. But my Y axis is going to be positive. So the pattern in this case is negative, positive. So just above quadrant 2, I'm going to write negative, positive. Let's slide on down to quadrant 3. Quadrant 3, again, this is our x-axis. It's just moving towards the left-hand side of our paper. Downwards is the y-axis, and we have a combination of negative, negative. So I'm just going to squeeze that in here, negative, negative for my pattern for quadrant 3. Quadrant 4, the x-axis moves out towards the right. The y-axis is down. So that means our pattern is going to be positive, negative for quadrant 4. Now we are ready to begin our plotting. But do notice here in the center, right here, this is called the point of origin, or origin for short. This here represents a coordinate pair of 0, 0. So keeping that in mind, point of origin is 0, 0. So let's get started on our summer mystery picture. Our very first coordinate point is 0, so good to know, X is 0, and Y is negative 19. So let me find that here. I know I'm going to start at 0 for x, and y is negative 19. So that is going to fall all the way right down here at the very end of my document. And I'm going to go ahead and put a dot or a data point right here where those two meet. Now, on my paper for organization, I recommend that you just don't scribble them out, but just put a line through it. So if you need to go back as a reference, you can still see the numbers. The next coordinate pair is 9, 2, both positives. So as I'm looking at my pattern, I noticed that we wrote positive, positive for quadrant 1. So I do believe that data point's going to fall in quadrant 1. So I'm going to go over 9, and my y is 2, so up 2, right in here. Okay. Now, when we're creating these images, I recommend that after you cross out the data point you just created, that you go back and connect these points. This here, I'm just using a straight edge. And again, a straight edge is anything that you can use to just draw straight lines. So this happens to be a piece of tag board or like, I don't know, cardboard type paper, really stiff paper. I folded it in half and created a straight edge because here at the house, I don't necessarily have a ruler handy. So I just created a straight edge. So feel free to do that as well. The next coordinate pair is 5, 2. Okay, right here, 5, 2. So positive, positive, I'm going to go over to 5, up to 2. Oh, look at that. Okay. Woo. And I'm going to take time to connect these 2 points with my straight edge or ruler, whatever you have handy. I think a ruler is a little bit easier to line up, but if you have, you're at home and you don't have a ruler, that's okay too. We're just going to keep moving with our straight edge. So this is really how that pattern goes, is you're just going to go through and you are going to plot all of the data points that are here on this side of your page. Notice end line right here. So after you plot 0, negative 19, you're just going to, pick up your pencil, and you don't necessarily need to connect that then to what's up here, 9, 2. So just continue to plot, continue to plug away at the picture. I am super excited to see what you come up with and what this mystery graph is. I have 2 graphs available for you. This is graph number 1. Now, I also have one labeled graph number 5. So take note, this is all there is for graph number 1 for plotting all of these points. This is graph number 5. So you'll notice graph number 5 is a little bit longer, a lot more plotting of the points, and it will probably take you a bit longer to complete this one, but they are both absolutely awesome summer pictures. So feel free to maybe start with graph number 1, and then when you're done, move to graph number 5. I do have a special favor to ask, and that is when you finish, whether it's graph number 1 or graph number 5, if you could color that picture in for me. I would love to come in and take a picture with my cell phone of your images. And I have been meeting with some 6th grade teachers that I think would love to see the potential of your designs. You are all so very inspiring to so many of us. I would love to continue to share your work. So please reach out if you have any questions. I will drop off printed copies to you early in the week. So have a really great time plotting points and coloring, and I hope that you find some relaxation in this kind of activity. Bye.